What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Renee with Prison Ride Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This morning, I got two strong brothers on the line that we're going to mix it up with and see what they got going on. I got my brother, Minister X, and my new found brother, Will Bop. And we're going to talk to them about some things that they got going on. They got some really important things going on in their cipher. So we're going to see what's going on. All right, how y'all brothers doing?
Strong and positive. No bad days. All is well. How about you?
Doing all right. I want to give y'all an opportunity to, give the people a little brief rundown on you. So tell them a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
I'll let the
We'll
minister
go
open up.
ahead. Go ahead. All right. So,
But follow your lead
really
on this one.
today, I really want to focus on the inside and out for the people just listening. For those that don't know, Jay Renee, my sister, and it's the work that we do together inside and out. Um, and I really want to highlight that city to city, cell block to city block. We want to push a particular narrative. So this is Minister King X, a California prison focused Cage Universal. I'm the national spokesperson for P.E.P Talk. And today, that's what we want to highlight the work that's going on inside and out with my brother Will Bop and myself. Um, so I just want to yield and let him have the majority of the floor, and then I'll feed in from there. So Will, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people about what you're doing.
Okay, definitely. Um, I just want to do an addition to that. He's not just the national spokesman. He's one of our founders. He helped, put this program together, this movement together, and he has been the leading person that's helping taking this international. So I just wanted to make sure that that's clearly understood with that. That's my brother for real. So first, they call me Will Bob. I'm from West Oakland, California, Ghost Town, USA, and I'm in prison. We don't have to get too deep into that at this minute. But when I got to this prison in Solano, I realized I was around a good group of men, a solid group of guys from all these different demographics. And what we wanted to do was take something that had transpired maybe 12 years ago in Pelican Bay and Corcoran and some of these other places and add on to that. And so what that is the hunger strike and the agreement to end all hostilities. In 1988 and 89, they opened up Corcoran Prison here in California and in Pelican Bay, for the worst of the worst, the um, unrehabilitatable, if that's a word at all. And so what they did was while they were back there, they realized, all these important brothers realized that, that we're more alike than we are different. When somebody in my family has a baby, I celebrate. When somebody in my family passes away, I mourn that loss. So we're just the same, but from different aspects. So they tried different hunger strikes. Like, man, we got to get out of here because that was torture. Locking these men up for all those years with no opportunity for self-improvement, no opportunity to parole, and keeping them back there under false narratives. They realized that we don't have to stick together with this. So, excuse me, there were three different hunger strikes, and the last one lasting for 60 days. It was so big that it made it not. It lasted from here across the country. It made it all the way to Palestine. There's a wall of Palestine that said we stand with the hunger strikers. And Minister King X was a big, major part of that. So in California, there's a move, called the reentry movement, and it was billions of dollars being funneled through the reentry aspect. And I was home at that time. This is around 2015 or so. I was working for the Contra Costa County Public Defender's Office at this time. And what we kept hearing is, they're letting these guys back to the main line, they're re-entering back into the main line, and that was hijacked. So the reentry with all these, nonprofit organizations, they're getting all this money to, be able to look out for the communities and these brothers and sisters that were coming home, supposedly. And their narrative was, I know these men, I've been in prison with them, or I worked in this institution with them, and that's not 100% accurate. A lot of these guys were on sensitive need yards, or if or as you guys would probably know, protective custody. And so they get out of prison and say, yeah, I walk with y'all with the best of them, and that's not true. So I'm here to right now to tell you, to minister myself, is that the real re-entry, were those brothers getting re-entered back into general population.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
For 40 years or so, there was nothing but ongoing wars in prison, so much so that they kept stacking prison after prison after prison until we wound up getting to about, 32 or 33? Something to that number, right? And so when those guys got back to general population, since they've been out of the SHU programs, there has not been one ongoing prison war in any general population prison. And that's important because I came to prison in 1999 for the first time at 19 years old. And every prison I hit, every yard I hit, the first thing you're going to get is a knife and some boots and tell you strap up because we're at war with this group or that group is at war, right? This is everywhere you went. It was survive or die. So now fast forward, 12, 13 years later, there had been nothing further since that agreement to end that hostility. So when we got here, I said, man, how about if we took it a step further, guys? How about if we didn't just end this agreement to end, if we didn't just take this agreement to end hostility, but we added on to that and we used our shared humanity and we created a program that can be modeled everywhere, and let's try to take this around the world. And so that's what we did. The minister, myself, and these brothers that's in here with me, we created the first nonprofit 501c3 is ran, operated, and owned by brothers on the inside in California's history. I'm the founder, chairman, and CEO of P.E.P Talk Group. P.E.P stands for Pre-Entry Platform. Like I said, the word is very important. Re-entry is a major thing in California. Re-entry this, re-entry that, rehabilitation, re-entry. But instead of waiting, how about we work while we wait? And we came up with a program that we work with each other while we're in here. We bring professionals to work with us individually and our immediate families while we're in here. And we take our collective experiences and work with those same programs and individuals to come with policy around prison reform, criminal justice reform, and the system impacted to work with our communities at large. And we feel if we can take on the world one person at a time and one problem at a time, together we can have changes. The floor is yours, brother.
All right, bro. Minister X, what do you want to add to that bill?
So I just want to also add that I feel that the brother is being humble because when we take on this fight, he taking on this fight under circumstances where some people with resentment could act arbitrary and try to hold up his due process in every aspect where he already under the circumstances of racial injustice. I feel that he should be liberated. These brothers just behind the wall, these are a multicultural group. Although Will Bop, Mutawali, Kambui, and others alike, I can't even begin to name all the brothers. Ray, these brothers sat down and they came with this concept building on the elders concept of the agreement to end hostilities. And our primary goal is to create a parallel society where we find ourselves inside of the school. Once before they said we were subversive, we was violent predators, we was the worst of the worst. So now we creating a whole new narrative where we're gonna go cell block to city block and have this universal language and sit down inside and out with progressive DAs, progressive lawyers, and council members, but not just sitting down with them, but letting them know that we are stakeholders now, inside and out. We want to control our own narrative. We're not looking for them to help us with the problem because we believe we are our own liberators. So as we go through these communities, we sit down and we take a survey and we get all this data and we sit down and figure out, okay, where's the need? Where's the need for us being formally incarcerated, giving back? How do we give these reports to Oakland Post, to California Prison Focus, to San Francisco Bayview? Because this is a issue where we got to centralize the people and bring everybody in and look at your issue on the East Coast, in the South, in the West, and say this is a people issue. He alluded to shared humanity. Shared humanity says no more to torture, to elder abuse. So when we talking about doing these things progressive inside and out, when we talking about liberation, and when we go in front of the UN, that's because we've been movement building inside and out. It wasn't just about us coming out of solitary confinement. We came from one structure to the next to do cultural exchange in general population, and we begin to change our mentality. And once we begin to change our mentality from what they seen as a criminal mentality, we said, okay, now we have the right to vote. Now we got the right to go out here and make our own policy. So for me, I think that's really what's important, that you never had a group of incarcerated people, principled thinkers, not only create their own narrative, but they could say, okay, now when we talk about involuntary servitude, we could write the bill for that because they're directly impacted for slave wages, the same way in Texas, the same way in Alabama, the same way in Atlanta. This is why Pep Talk should be not just in California, but there in Arizona, in Indiana, Chicago. Pep Talk is the new way of pre-entry, but like George said, the journey to freedom begins from within. And once upon a time when he said settle your quarrels, he was talking to the proletarian and the lumpen class. So when you look at Attica and you see the response
This
in
call
Attica,
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
it was a multicultural group then as well as now. And we talk about the hunger strike, we talk about
You have
Bobby
60
Sands.
seconds remaining.
All these things are correlated. It's one movement. So this is the message for today. We nation building inside and out. We picking up books. We learning how to eat. We training the youth on how to end violence, hostilities, not just uh the word violence, but economical violence. We trying to end sexual violence, the trafficking. All that has to be part of this street agreement. And we got to look beyond ourselves and look 10, 20 years from now to make sure that these youth on these YOP yards, that they all right, that they got a part of this curriculum.
For sure.
So so before I wrap it up, I want to give the floor back to Will Bob. I just want to say in every aspect for the people that want to get involved and stay involved, um, with us creating a liberation school behind the walls and beyond the walls, and how we use art as a tool, how we educate the jailhouse lawyers to be their own consultants, to be their own mediators, to be their own liberators. We need to be able to put this thing in a billboard in the UN and local city council members' office because they need to know that the incarcerated and the formerly incarcerated has a voice at the table. Wilder,
Yes.
you going to give us a closure?
Um, man, he said a mouthful, and that's exactly right. The minister has started making a way for us to sit down with local politicians and, the governor himself. So what we did was recently when Barbara Lee was running for mayor, Minister King and others put together the peace rally, and we were invited to help, participate in that. And we were told that, the race was going to be close, and she needed all of our help. So what we did was we organized and had the unhoused go get picked up, taken a vote. And the thing is, a lot of our brothers and sisters that's unhoused, they didn't even know how to read or write. And this is a true story. So I had them write her name down on a piece of paper. Take it with you. When you go in there, just go in there and find whatever name that look close to that and just vote for her. We'll take care of the rest. And so that's my point is, when it comes to the unhoused, they believe in us wholeheartedly, and we're putting our faith in the progressives that's moving forward. The same thing with these youth. When we sit down and talk with them, they believe us, they understand us because we live their life. We've traveled that journey. So what we're asking is anybody with a like mind, you don't have to agree with what our lifestyles have been or however the case may be, but we all should agree that things can get better. And these children deserve an opportunity to live a wholesome life. In our community, it's about reentry. In other communities, it's about prevention. How can we not make that a staple everywhere? Every child everywhere deserves a fair one. And the thing about us with this general population, us in general population, you can't, we don't, no, ain't no rapists, no child molesting, and we stand on that. No innocent people. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to take that tough guy attitude and turn it into ourselves and be hard on ourselves to be better versions of ourselves. And so we're asking for all hands on deck nationwide, internationally, to stand with us. Join hands with us. Our brothers and sisters around the country, join hands with us. And let's fix this thing, one person by person, problem by problem.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
How can people link in with y'all and stay connected and follow what y'all doing to give support?
So for what we doing right now, you could go on Instagram and see Pep Talk. That's P.R.E. Talk on Instagram.
P.E.P.
You
P.E.P.
you P.E.P. Pep Talk. I mean P.R.E. Prep Talk pre-entry. Um, Also, you all know you can inbox me over there on official Minister King X Instagram, Facebook. I just want to add this though. We got a new
Our website.
soundtrack for the. Uh, um, Go ahead, Will. What did you say?
I'm sorry, I was going to say, you can also go to our website at peptalkgroup.org. That's PEPTALKGROUP.org. And then you could leave a message, you could blog, or whatever the case may be, and one of the staff will definitely get back at you. Go ahead, bro. Excuse me.
And I just want to plug in that we just did a soundtrack for the movie Strike. Strike was from based on the 2011-2013 hunger strike, an essay that arose from California Prison Focus. So they did a whole soundtrack, a movie and a soundtrack. The soundtrack, the first single is going to be called Minneside. Minneside Project is going to be led by the elders, where it's going to be a curriculum aside from the prison to the colleges. And I want other elders, political prisoners, men, women, Mumia, Joy Powell, others alike to get involved with teaching this curriculum. Um, and you could get at me, and let's see how we could continue to bring these resources inside and out. Jay Renee, thank you for your time. Free the
Thank you,
land.
sister. We appreciate you.
Real land.